In 2006, the United Nations warned the Beijing government that China could face a serious AIDS disaster. The impact of the infection on society would be disastrous, and the number of people infected could become the highest of any nation worldwide. The case of a large group of peasants in Henan who got infected with AIDS by blood selling has aroused the world's attention. According to the official statistics of the Chinese government, there were 850,000 AIDS infected in China by the end of 2005, and about 120,000 of them died. The way that the Chinese government has dealt with the AIDS problem for many years is to simply neglect the infected. China's persecution of AIDS activists has been strongly criticized by the rest of the world. The UN estimates that there are over 1 million AIDS-infected people in China, and there will be over 10 million cases by 2010 if no urgent measures are taken. The sky is filled with pollution from Chinese factories, including greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide plus nitrogen dioxide and sulfur. The rapid growth of the Chinese economy in recent decades has caused extensive, even irreparable damage to the environment. Water, air, and land have all been seriously polluted, leaving few clean resources for future generations. On the list of the world's top 10 most polluted cities, 8 of them are in China. A recently published study conducted by the Chinese Academy on Environmental Planning blamed air pollution for 411,000 premature deaths, mostly from lung and heart-related diseases in 2003. More than 100 million people live in cities such as Beijing, where the air is considered very dangerous. In Fuyang City, Anhui Province, 12 infants died, and 229 infants were poisoned after they were fed phony milk formula produced in 40 local factories. The Ministry of Health of China reported 506 food poisonings in 2007. 13,280 people were poisoned, and 258 died. 11 poisoning incidents involved more than 100 people. Other sources said more than 100,000 people were poisoned by pesticide residues and chemical additives in the foods, and the total amount of 300 million suffered from illness caused by contaminated foods. The rapid deterioration of the environment has made it very difficult for ordinary Chinese people to get safe, clean food. In fact, Olympic Games authorities have to provide special food called Olympic pork and Olympic vegetables for foreign athletes and delegations to Beijing. In today's mainland China, the level of embezzlement and corruption is extraordinary. Government officials, including top leaders, members of the political bureau, ministers, provincial governors, and village heads, use their power and position to embezzle money or extract bribes. In 2006, 825 county-level officers, 92 provincial city-level officers, and 9 ministry-level officers were found guilty and sentenced. The number of Falun Gong practitioners who have been murdered in China has increased to many thousands. On July 20th of 1999, the Chinese Communist Party began persecuting Falun Gong practitioners across the country, resulting in the deaths of over 3,000 practitioners. A great deal of evidence proves that Falun Gong practitioners have had organs removed from their living bodies, which are being sold by hospitals to Chinese and foreign organ transplant patients. The 400 parents who were struggling to look for their missing children uncovered the illegal brick kilns incident. Their children were abducted or kidnapped by the human traffickers and sold for $70 to the bosses of brick factories. It was reported that more than 1,000 children, 8 to 13 years of age, were forced to work in the brick factories. The bosses hired thugs to monitor the children, who worked up to 18 hours every day. The overseers constantly beat and scolded the children as they pleased. Such tragic events happen every day in China, mostly in rural areas, but also in developed regions. The blood of Chinese child laborers has stained the flag of Chinese economic development. The People's Daily reports that among the 20 million children deprived of education, 60% become child laborers. Corruption is the Achilles heel of the Chinese Communist government. According to official 2006 statistics, more than $15 billion, including bribes and embezzlement, has been shifted abroad by corrupt officials who have successfully escaped from China. More than 1,200,000 corrupt officials have settled their families abroad, and 150,000 of them have received citizenship in foreign countries. The Chinese government admits that the abduction of women and children, one of the oldest, most barbarous crimes in the world, has increased alarmingly during the past 60 years since the Chinese Communist Party took power. According to incomplete statistics, as of 2006, nearly 100,000 children are missing in China, and the number of missing women is impossible to estimate.